Upbeat, slightly quirky intro music fades. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got a story that will make you rethink your typical Monday morning grind. It's a tale about what happens when the loudest, most chaotic place imaginable, the office suddenly falls, completely silent. So, grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into the day the office went silent. It was a Monday morning at Barton & Co., and the atmosphere was exactly what you'd expect. The air was thick with the scent of stale coffee and impending deadlines. The boss, Mr. Henderson, was already pacing his office like a caged tiger, and the collective sigh of the workforce could practically be measured on the Richter scale. In the heart of this corporate jungle sat Oliver, a man whose personal mission was to inject a little bit of fun into the mundane. His life motto was simple: if you can't make work fun, you're already fired. Oliver was the office prankster, the jester in a court of spreadsheets and quarterly reports. He was the one who replaced the sugar with salt, sent out emails in pirate speak, and once convinced the entire marketing team that Hawaiian Shirt Friday was a mandatory company policy. He was a force of nature, a whirlwind of jokes and good-natured chaos. But on this particular Monday, as he opened his mouth to deliver his signature morning wisecrack, something utterly bizarre happened. Nothing, not a sound, came out. He tried again, expecting a witty remark, but only silence followed. He couldn't even manage a squeak. A wave of confusion washed over him. He looked around the open-plan office. Anna from accounting was moving her lips, her expression one of utter disbelief. Mark from sales was gesturing wildly at his phone, his face a mask of frustration. Everyone was talking, but no one was making a sound. The office, usually a symphony of ringing phones, clacking keyboards, and hushed gossip, was eerily, profoundly quiet. It was like watching a movie with the volume turned all the way down. The printer spat out documents without its usual clatter. The phones on every desk lit up with incoming calls, but they rang in complete silence. Even Mr. Henderson's predictable morning rant, which Oliver could see happening through the glass walls of his office, was a completely mute performance. It was unnerving. The world had lost its soundtrack. Oliver, ever the tech-savvy millennial, immediately grabbed his phone and typed a message into the company's group chat. His fingers flew across the screen. Did we all just lose our voices? Or did someone accidentally hit the mute button on the universe? Almost instantly, replies flooded in. Anna typed, "I can't even hear my own thoughts. This is terrifying." Ben from IT added, "I've checked all the systems. This isn't a tech issue. This is something else." A strange, silent panic began to ripple through the office. People started running around, waving papers in each other's faces, their gestures becoming more and more frantic. The place looked less like a corporate headquarters and more like a chaotic rehearsal for a mime convention. The inability to communicate verbally was causing a complete breakdown of order. But where everyone else saw chaos, Oliver saw an opportunity. This was his stage. He stood on his chair, struck a dramatic pose, and began delivering a passionate, silent speech, complete with grand gestures and exaggerated facial expressions. He mimed a heroic monologue, a lover's plea, and a villain's evil laugh, all without making a peep. At first, his colleagues just stared, bewildered. But then, a flicker of amusement appeared on Anna's face. A silent chuckle shook Mark's shoulders. Soon, the tension in the room began to dissolve, replaced by a quiet, contagious sense of absurdity. One by one, people started to join in. The silent panic transformed into silent play. The marketing team, natural performers, started a game of charades to try and explain their campaign ideas. The normally stoic accountants began drawing hilarious caricatures of each other on their whiteboards. The office, which had been a pressure cooker of stress just minutes before, was now filled with silent, unadulterated joy. Oliver organized a silent dance-off in the break room. People grooved to the imaginary music in their heads, their moves uninhibited and joyous. For the first time in as long as anyone could remember, Barton and Co. felt genuinely happy. The deadlines, the cranky boss, the broken coffee machine, all faded into the background. They were communicating through laughter, movement, and a shared sense of the ridiculous. It was a purer, more direct form of connection than they had ever experienced. They were a team, not just of employees, but of people finding joy in a strange situation. Then, at exactly 5 p.m., as if on cue, a soft ding echoed through the office. It was the first sound anyone had heard all day, and it was startlingly loud in the preceding silence. A beat passed. Then, the world came roaring back to life. Phones started buzzing, keyboards began their familiar clatter, and a wave of relieved, boisterous laughter erupted, filling every corner of the room. The spell was broken. The door to Mr. Henderson's office creaked open. He stepped out, looking dazed, and surveyed the scene of jubilant chaos. He ran a hand through his hair and let out a long, weary sigh. That, he said, his voice raspy from disuse, was the quietest, and yet, somehow, the most productive day of my life. Oliver, perched on his desk, grinned from ear to ear. Finally, able to speak, he called out, "See, sometimes silence says more than words ever could." A cheer went up around the office. No one ever forgot the day the office went silent. It became a legendary tale, a reminder that connection isn't always about what you say, but about what you share. And sometimes the best way to get through a stressful day is with a little bit of silent laughter. What do you guys think? Have you ever had a moment where nonverbal communication was more powerful than words? Let me know your stories in the comments below. I love reading them. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.